Welcome back. Today, we explore the value of these top, most valuable Jefferson nickel coins that could be worth millions of dollars. Let's get started. First up, the 1944 Monticello Jefferson nickel is one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. numismatic history. During World War II, the United States faced significant material shortages due to wartime demands. In response, the mint began to alter the composition of several coins, including the Jefferson nickel. For the 1944 issue, the composition of the nickel was made up of 35 silver, a move designed to save on copper for the war effort. However, what sets the 1944 Monticello Jefferson nickel apart is its unusual combination of a large date and the P mint mark, which signifies its production in Philadelphia. The coin, however, wasn't just remarkable for its composition or its minting location. Many of these coins exhibited a strange and rare phenomenon. They developed a color change due to environmental factors or improper handling. This color change, often manifesting as a bluish or greenish tint, added an extra layer of rarity and intrigue, making it highly sought after by collectors. The obverse of the 1944 Monticello Jefferson nickel features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by the artist Felix Schlag. The reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, also designed by Schlag. The P mint mark on the obverse, which was introduced in 1942, denotes that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Collectors appreciate the striking simplicity and elegance of the design, which captures an important historical figure and landmark in American history. The large date feature is a distinguishing characteristic of the 1944 issue, making it stand out from earlier versions. This is of particular interest to collectors who specialize in date variations and minting anomalies. In color-changed condition, the coin becomes even rarer, as the alterations to the metal composition over time make it a fascinating piece for those seeking unique specimens. The 1944 Jefferson nickel, with the large date and P mint mark, had a relatively high mintage of approximately 119 million coins. But this does not detract from its current market value, particularly in color-changed condition. In today's market, a 1944 Monticello nickel with a significant color change can fetch anywhere between $84,900 or more, depending on the severity of the color alteration and the overall condition of the coin. Collectors who focus on error coins or those with unique characteristics, such as color-changing conditions, are willing to pay a premium for this nickel. The increased interest in wartime coins, especially those with silver content, also contributes to the high market value. The primary error associated with the 1944 Monticello Jefferson nickel is the color change, which can be the result of improper storage, interaction with certain chemicals, or environmental factors. These color changes are not considered mint errors in the traditional sense, but they are highly prized by collectors due to their uniqueness. Collectors are particularly drawn to this coin because of its historical connection to World War II, its silver content, and the rarity of color-changed examples. The coin's large date and the distinctive design make it a highly collectible piece, and those that feature unusual discolorations can command a higher premium in the market. Next up, the 1945 Jefferson nickel is another significant coin from the World War II era. While the U.S. Mint's focus remained on wartime needs, the 1945 nickel features an important design update: the use of the large. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued producing nickel coins with a high percentage of silver, an element which made these coins vital during the war. This coin was minted in San Francisco, as indicated by the S mint mark on the. What makes the 1945 Monticello Jefferson nickel particularly interesting is the condition it often appears in: color changed and dirty. The coin's tarnish or dirt accumulation, along with the unusual color shift, creates a unique combination that adds significant value to its market price. Collectors particularly covet coins that have lived through history, showing signs of age and wear while maintaining their historical integrity. Like the 1944 nickel, the 1945 version also features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, with the added S mint mark signifying that the coin was struck in San Francisco. The large date, characteristic of this year's issue, makes it distinct from other Jefferson nickels from previous years. The simplicity of the design, the tribute to a founding father, and the historical significance of Monticello give the coin a timeless appeal. The color change observed in these coins often results from oxidation, exposure to moisture, or even storage in unsuitable environments. Over time, these factors cause a shift in the coin's surface, creating a visually intriguing appearance that sparks collectors' curiosity. The 1945 Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark had a total mintage of approximately 119 million coins. Although it is not considered a rare coin by mintage numbers alone, its condition, especially when exhibiting the color change and dirty condition, elevates its value significantly. Coins that show evidence of tarnishing or discoloration often fetch higher prices in today's market, depending on the severity and appearance of the changes. In today's auction market, a 1945 Monticello Jefferson nickel with the large date S mint mark and noticeable color change can be valued between $400,000 in excellent condition, or with unique discolorations, the price could go higher, reaching even $400,000–$4,500 or more. Collectors are especially drawn to this coin for its wartime history, the minting location, and the overall rarity of the color-altered version. The color change in these coins is often a result of environmental factors such as exposure to moisture or certain chemicals. Though not an error in the minting process, this change adds a distinctive flair to the. As with other wartime coins, there is a strong collector interest due to the historical context of these coins, and the 1945 Jefferson nickel is particularly sought after for its connection to the mid-20th century. Collectors are keen on acquiring pieces that show signs of age and history, and the 1945 Monticello nickel's color change and dirty condition make it a unique and desirable addition to any collection. The increased collector interest surrounding wartime issues also helps to bolster its value in today's market. Next up, the 1943 Jefferson nickel is a fascinating piece of U.S. coinage history. This particular variety, the 1943 large date with an S mint mark, stands out due to its distinct design features, historical context, and its extreme rarity when found in certain conditions. Most notable about the 1943 nickel is its mint mark, as coins struck at the San Francisco Mint are far rarer than those produced in Philadelphia or Denver, making it a prime candidate for collectors. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, designed by Felix Schlag to commemorate the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. Over the decades, the design has undergone changes, but the 1943 variant holds particular interest due to the unusual minting circumstances during World War II. In 1943, the US government was deeply involved in the war effort, and nickel was in short supply. As a result, a special wartime version of the nickel was struck using silver rather than nickel. While the Silver War nickels of 1942–1945 are well known, the standard copper-nickel composition continued to be used for other coins, such as the 1943. The 1943 Jefferson nickel, in particular, is a large date variety. The mint mark S indicates that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, which produced significantly fewer coins than the other mints, making it more valuable. This nickel features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, while the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's home in Virginia. The coin you are looking at is in a color-changed, dirty condition. Coins in such a condition are often not ideal for collectors because dirt and corrosion can severely diminish a coin's value. However, there is a unique market for such pieces, especially when they are rare. In this case, the color change likely caused by environmental exposure might make this coin even more interesting for certain collectors who appreciate these unique characteristics. Despite the dirty condition, a coin like this can fetch huge sums at auction. Depending on the rarity and demand, it is not unusual for a 1943 Jefferson nickel with the S mint mark to reach prices in the thousands of dollars. For example, one in excellent condition with desirable attributes such as this could easily bring in $500,000, and in some extreme cases. The collector interest in this coin is driven by its rarity, historical significance, and unique minting history. The appeal is amplified by the coin's association with Thomas Jefferson, a founding father and the third president of the United States. Additionally, coins from the San Francisco Mint are always highly desirable, as they typically represent a smaller production run. As a result, collectors often gravitate toward coins like the 1943 large-date Jefferson nickel, especially those in less than perfect, but still distinctive condition. Next up, the 1942 Jefferson nickel is another iconic coin in the series. Particularly significant is the large-date variety, which makes this coin a must-have for any serious numismatist. The coin's mint mark P indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the largest minting facility in the United States. However, what makes this 1942 nickel even more interesting is its dirty black coloration, likely due to prolonged exposure to certain elements. These color-changed coins are often seen as historically intriguing, especially when paired with the large-date variant. 1942 was a critical year in the United States due to World War II. The war effort had led to changes in coin production with a significant shortage of metals. As a result, the wartime silver nickel was introduced alongside the regular copper-nickel version. This period also saw a surge in patriotic fervor, and coinage during these years often reflected the nation's wartime mood. The 1942 large-date variety was produced just before the transition to the wartime silver versions, making it a preliminary issue in the Jefferson nickel series. This is one of the reasons why it stands out to collectors today. The 1942 Jefferson nickel, like other coins of the series, features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. His likeness is based on an original portrait made by artist John Trumbull, one of the finest depictions of the third president of the United States. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, with its classical architectural style visible. As mentioned earlier, the coin you are looking at has an interesting black color due to the environmental conditions it has been exposed to. Over time, these coins can develop toning, which is often seen as an imperfection, but can also create a unique aesthetic that certain collectors find appealing. This blackened look may have been caused by moisture, dirt, or chemicals in the environment, but it has contributed to the coin's distinctiveness. Like the 1943 Jefferson nickel, the 1942 large date with the P mint mark has an active market. Even though the coin is in a dirty, blackened state, its rarity and unique condition give it great potential value. Depending on the specific market and demand at the time of auction, a coin in this condition could fetch around $200,800. This value could increase if the coin is part of a larger collection, or if the demand for Jefferson nickels is particularly strong in that auction cycle. The combination of the large date variety and the large P mint mark makes this coin a collector's favorite, even though it has a more unconventional appearance due to its blackened condition. Collectors with a deep interest in wartime nickel variants, as well as those focusing on toning, will certainly find it desirable. The fact that this coin comes from the Philadelphia Mint, a mint that has been producing coins for over 2 centuries, only adds to its allure. Next up, the 1964 Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel is a coin that carries with it a rich history, extraordinary mintage figures, and a design that has captivated collectors for decades. The nickel features an intriguing historical backdrop, as it was minted in an era of change in the United States. Before we delve into the specifics of its value today, let's first understand its historical context, unique design features, and why it remains highly collectible. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is part of a long-running series that was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The coin was designed by Felix Schlag, and it initially featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse with his home, Monticello, depicted on the reverse. The 1964 coin continues this tradition and was struck during a period when the US was in the midst of significant social and economic change, especially following the end of the Second World War and the ensuing rise of the American middle class. The 1964 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark was struck in Denver, which is important for collectors who focus on mint marks as a distinguishing feature. The D-mint mark indicates that it was minted in Denver, one of the two primary minting locations for nickels at the time, while the mintage for the 1964 Jefferson nickel was substantial, with over 200 million coins produced. Some of these coins have survived in excellent condition, and their rarity has driven up their market value. However, when a coin is found in dirty condition, it doesn't immediately signal that its value is diminished. While some collectors prefer pristine, uncirculated pieces, there are others who focus on coins with unique characteristics, including those that show the passage of time or tell a different story. Dirty coins can be valuable if their history or scarcity is significant. The 1964 Jefferson nickel features the famous portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States and a founding father. This portrait, designed by artist Felix Schlag, was used throughout the entire series from 1938 to 2003. The obverse of the coin shows Jefferson's side profile, facing left, with the inscription Liberty above, the date 1964 below, and the word "In God We Trust" behind his bust. The D-mint mark is found on the reverse side, just below Jefferson's neck. The 1964 Monticello nickel is unique because it falls in a transition period where U.S. coinage was being closely observed due to the rising demand for silver, and people were beginning to pay attention to minting marks as a reflection of scarcity and interest. This is especially true with the D-mint mark, which is highly sought after. While the 1964 Jefferson nickel is not known for any major minting errors, some coins from this year have been found with minor imperfections or unusual characteristics that make them stand out to collectors. These could include things like doubling on the date or mint mark, slight misalignments of the design, or other variations that may have occurred due to the condition of the Ds or the coin press during minting. Coins in dirty condition often attract collectors who appreciate the aged look, especially when the coin's history is interesting. For example, if a 1964 Jefferson nickel has been handled extensively, circulated for decades, and has accrued dirt or tarnish, collectors may be drawn to it for the stories it could tell. In fact, certain buyers may see a coin in such a condition as more valuable due to its unique patina. The market value for the 1964 Jefferson nickel in dirty condition can vary widely, but it can still fetch prices in the range of $10,000s of dollars or more depending on the extent of the dirt and its scarcity in the market. Coins with higher grade conditions, such as those in uncirculated or mint state conditions, could be worth significantly. In today's auction market, the 1964 Jefferson nickel with a D-mint mark remains an iconic piece of American coinage. While it's not as rare as some other coins, its historical significance and widespread appeal ensure that it holds value in both the numismatic and investment worlds. When found in dirty condition, this coin can still attract significant attention due to its age and the potential for discovering hidden gems beneath the grime. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a new enthusiast, understanding the value and appeal of this coin is crucial when considering its place in your collection. Next up, the 1959 Monticello Jefferson nickel with a D-mint mark is another example of a coin that holds significant value despite being found in a dirty, blackened condition. The 1959 nickel is part of the Jefferson nickel series, which began in 1938 and continues to be one of the most iconic and well-loved series in U.S. numismatics. In 1959, the United States was in the midst of the post-war economic boom, a time of expansion and change. The 1959 nickel was minted during a period when American industry was growing at an unprecedented rate. The mintage for this year was substantial, with over 230 million coins produced, meaning that it is not as rare as other issues. However, the presence of the D-mint mark adds a layer of rarity to specific examples, particularly those that show signs of age or unusual characteristics. Like the 1964 version, the 1959 Monticello nickel features the familiar design by Felix Schlag with the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. The D-mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which has always been one of the key facilities for U.S. coin production. What sets the 1959 Monticello nickel apart is the large date variety, which is visually distinct due to its unique proportions compared to other years in the series. This large date feature appeals to collectors who are looking for slight variations in the design, especially those who are focused on minting errors or nuances in production. The obverse of the 1959 nickel features the bust of President Thomas Jefferson, as created by Felix Schlag, with the inscription Liberty at the top, in God we trust at the bottom, and the year 1959 prominently displayed. The reverse displays Jefferson's home, Monticello, along with the words E pluribus unum and the blackened or dirty condition of a coin may not be immediately appealing to every collector. However, the patina that develops over time can tell a story of circulation and use, which can add to its historical significance. Some collectors even appreciate this aged look, as it gives a sense of authenticity to the coin, telling the tale of its long life and journey through history. The 1959 Monticello nickel is also notable for having a large date variety. This variety has captured the attention of many numismatists, as it stands out due to its size and spacing in the. This particular feature is often considered to be a die variety rather than a minting error, but it has nonetheless added an extra layer of appeal for collectors. The market value for the 1959 Jefferson nickel in black color, dirty condition can range from $3 to $8 or more, depending on the condition and any other unique features it may have. The 1959 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark is a coin that may not initially appear to be particularly rare, but its unique characteristics, such as the large date variety and its blackened appearance, give it significant collector interest. These factors combine to make the coin a sought-after item at auctions and for numismatic. Next up, let's begin with one of the most fascinating and expensive Jefferson nickels in circulation. The 1963 Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel with the large date and a small adds mint mark. You might be wondering, what makes this particular coin so valuable despite being in circulated condition? Well, the answer lies in a unique blend of historical context, design details, and collector interest. The Jefferson nickel series was introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, and it has remained one of the most iconic coins in U.S. numismatics. The 1963 Jefferson nickel, minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, is notable for having the Monticello building depicted on the reverse, a feature that has remained with the design since the coin's inception. But what sets the 1963 nickel apart is the mint mark. While most Jefferson nickels from this era are easy to find, the version with the small diamond mark is extremely rare. For years, numismatists speculated on the origin of the small mint mark, believing it was the result of a misstrike or a subtle minting error. This coin, originally produced at the Denver Mint, has become a prized example for both error coin collectors and those seeking specific varieties of Jefferson nickels. The mintage for the 1963 Jefferson nickel overall was substantial, as it was a regular release. However, the specific small mint mark variety is considerably rarer. When it comes to auction pricing, the value of this coin can fluctuate significantly depending on its condition and the level of demand from collectors. In circulated condition, the value can range anywhere from $56,000, with coins in better condition or those certified by reputable grading services like PCGs or NGC reaching even higher prices. The design of the 1963 Jefferson nickel has remained consistent over the decades, with the obverse featuring a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This design was created by Felix Schlag and has been a hallmark of the nickel since 1938. The reverse, as mentioned earlier, features Monticello, Jefferson's home, located in Virginia. This reverse design, based on a sketch by Jefferson himself, has undergone minimal changes since its introduction. What makes the 1963 version unique is the mint mark placement. The small mint mark, which is usually located to the right of Monticello, appears smaller than typical mint marks on other coins of the same year. It's this subtle detail that has made this coin an error collector's dream. The small D mint mark error has been the subject of much speculation. Some believe the mint mark was struck using an older, worn-out die, which caused the D to appear smaller than intended. This anomaly makes the coin incredibly sought after, especially among collectors of error coins and those focused on specific years and mint marks. Collectors also look for coins in better condition, as circulated versions can show significant wear, which decreases the overall value. However, even in circulated form, this coin remains a valuable find for anyone lucky enough to own it. The demand for error coins like this one has only grown in recent years, and that's reflected in the higher auction prices. In conclusion, the 1963 Monticello Jefferson nickel with a small D mint mark in circulated condition holds significant value due to its rarity, unique mint mark, and its place in American history. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a novice, finding this coin in your collection is an exciting prospect. It's an excellent example of how subtle errors can elevate a coin's worth and why Jefferson nickels continue to be a popular choice among collectors. Next up, we have another highly valued and sought-after coin in the Jefferson nickel series. The 1982 Jefferson nickel with the ED error mint mark. This particular coin has sparked significant interest among collectors, primarily due to its rare minting error and the unique conditions that make it an incredible find for those lucky enough to own one. The 1982 Jefferson nickel was part of the ongoing series introduced in 1938, and by the 1980s, the coin had undergone various design updates to reflect the evolving state of American coinage. In 1982, there was a change in the minting process, and the D-Mint mark was used to indicate coins produced at the Denver Mint. But in 1982, a striking error occurred that would make this year's nickel special among collectors. The error refers to the mint mark, which appears to be incorrectly placed or altered this issue, although subtle, has made the 1982 Jefferson nickel with a D-Mint mark error an intriguing piece for those interested in error coins. While the 1982 Jefferson nickel was minted in large numbers, the D-Mint mark error makes this coin rare and more valuable than the typical nickel of the same year. Typically, 1982 Jefferson nickels are worth very little, as they are common in circulation. However, the error version is worth much more. Coins in fine condition can fetch anywhere from $82,000 at auction, with higher-grade coins, or those certified by professional grading services like PCGs or NGC, sometimes reaching even higher amounts. The 1982 Jefferson nickel retains the classic design elements of its predecessors, with Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and the Monticello building on the reverse. However, the unique mint mark error makes this particular coin stand out among other nickels from the same year. In this case, the error is believed to be a result of a mistake during the die preparation process, causing the mint mark to appear incorrectly or in the wrong location. While this might sound subtle, small errors like this can cause a significant increase in the coin's value due to the rarity of the issue. The D-Mint mark error has generated significant collector interest, especially among those who specialize in error coins. As with many minting errors, the excitement is often tied to how unusual the error is and how few examples exist. The 1982 Jefferson nickel with the add mint mark error is a must-have for error coin collectors, and finding one in fine condition is considered a rare and exciting discovery. The 1982 Jefferson nickel with the AD mint mark error is a prime example of how small mistakes during the minting process can result in a coin becoming incredibly valuable. It's the combination of its rarity, minting error, and condition that makes it so appealing to collectors. Whether you're a novice collector or an expert, this coin is a standout piece that reflects the unique world of error coins and the ongoing fascination with minting anomalies. Next up, the 1948 Jefferson nickel stands out as one of the most collectible coins in the history of the United States. It was minted in a period of recovery following the hardships of World War II, and yet it marks a unique point in the history of the US. Mint's production. By the end of the 1940s, the nation was slowly bouncing back, and as a result, coinage was being churned out to support economic activities. But these coins also started taking on characteristics that would later make them valuable to collectors. The Jefferson nickel was first issued in 1938 to commemorate the life of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and was designed by Felix Schlag. The 1948 version, which is highly sought after, is notable for its large date style. During this year, the mint used slightly larger digits to create the year number, which gives the coin a distinct look. The design of the Jefferson nickel is one of the defining features of U.S. coinage. On the obverse, we find a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, modeled from a likeness created by John Adams' wife, Abigail Adams. Jefferson is positioned facing to the left, a symbolic design choice reflecting the admiration of his leadership during the early years of the United States. On the reverse, we find Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate. This depiction of Monticello became an iconic image in American numismatics, and it would continue to appear on the reverse of the Jefferson nickel until 2004, when the design was altered. However, it's not just the design that makes the 1948 Jefferson nickel so valuable. The fact that this coin was struck without a mint mark is key to its rarity. Mint marks, which indicate where a coin was minted, were common coins, yet in 1948, some Jefferson nickels were released without them. This lack of a mint mark is particularly notable for those who collect coins by minting year and location. The 1948 Jefferson nickel, particularly in very fine condition, is rare. While millions of these coins were minted, the absence of a mint mark makes them highly sought after by collectors. The market value of the 1948 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark has increased dramatically over the years, as collectors and investors have come to realize the rarity of this version. Its status as a rare variation, combined with the interest in Jefferson's legacy, adds layers of appeal. In very fine condition, the 1948 Jefferson nickel can fetch a premium at auction. Coins in higher grades, especially those that are well preserved, can even break into the thousands of dollars. As of today, the current value for this coin ranges from $66,000 for lower-grade examples to upwards of $100,000 or more for high-grade pieces. The exact value fluctuates based on factors such as condition, preservation, and demand in the market. What makes the 1948 Jefferson nickel even more interesting is the errors that can sometimes be found with these coins. There have been instances where the die was improperly prepared or where minting errors occurred, making the coins even rarer. For example, some 1948 Jefferson nickels show unusual doubling in the lettering or a misalignment of the obverse and reverse images. These errors can significantly increase the coin's value, sometimes turning a relatively common coin into a highly sought-after gem. Many coin collectors are drawn to error coins like these because they represent an interesting anomaly in the otherwise precise minting process. Coins with error characteristics tend to be rarer than regular issue coins, and as a result, they often fetch a higher price at. The value of the 1948 Jefferson nickel in very fine condition is currently at a high point, reflecting its status as one of the most collectible and rare nickels in U.S. history. Coins with minimal wear or damage can command impressive prices, and those that have been graded at higher levels, such as extremely fine or mint state, can fetch even. As with most valuable coins, the rarity of the 1948 Jefferson nickel combined with its unique features such as the large date and absence of a mint mark puts it in high demand. The auction market for these coins is strong, and they often generate significant attention, especially when they are part of collections that emphasize rare U.S. coinage. It's not uncommon for these coins to be sold for several $100s or more when in pristine condition, depending on the marketplace and auction environment. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!